Okay, so we started talking about Hashgacha. We started talking about Hashgacha of the individual, and as he's going to explain in Perek Sheni, that it's a little bit complex. It's more than a little complex. It's extremely complex. So let's begin. So he says like this: We explained already that the goal of humankind, the reason that God created humankind is that each person is able to reach the ultimate good. That a person is able to ultimately connect to Hashem in the world to come. And what comes out is that the end, or the objective of all of the different stages of a person's life is ultimately resting in the world to come. So we have this world, we have Tchias HaMesim, we have Gan Eden, all those different stages. The ultimate goal is Olam Haba. Amnam. However, Gazra Chachma Al Yonah Hayos Rovanos Shiktam Lazem Atzav Olam Hazeh. Right? We said first step was we have to be in this world. Nikshar v'nigbal b'chukos teva zeh ha'olam. Limited and connected to the different rules of nature in this world, because this is the most appropriate medium, the most appropriate vehicle to get to the ultimate goal. And according to this principle, according to this root principle, Hashem organized all the rules of this world, for all of them to be a preparation, to prepare us for the world to come. Okay, so in sum, he basically is summarizing what we said before, that the goal of this world is to get us to Olam Haba, and so we are limited to the rules of nature, we're limited to the rules that God created in Olam Hazeh, but the ultimate objective of that is for us to overcome the challenges, to become as good as possible to get to Olam Haba. However, Hachana Hazos, this preparation, Hine Hisoveves al Shnei Ktavim, has two poles, has two different aspects that it revolves around. Ha'echad Ishi, one is personal, Vasheni Klali, the other is collective. Haishi, the personal, who inyan kiniyas adam eshlimus b'masav, is what we've been speaking about in the fact that each person in their own actions has to attain perfection. V'klali, when we talk about the collective, hu iskonin hamin hanoshi b'chlal olam haba, it's referring to the entire world population getting to that next stage. Okay, so there's two things that have to be that are going on simultaneously. One is me, you, as individuals, we are trying to overcome our more base selves. We are trying to perfect ourselves, elevate ourselves, and that is one thing. The other thing is the entire world trying to get to the state of perfection. Forget Olam Haba for a second, which is called like the time of Mashiach. That meaning the entire world developing towards a certain period, right? In other words, there is you as an individual who are trying to accomplish what you need to accomplish. Great. There's also God is orchestrating history to get to a certain point, right? Uperze enyan hu. The explanation of this is man is created with both good inclination, bad inclination, and choice. That means there has to be possibility or endless possibility for us to choose between each thing. The goal again is to push away evil. Okay? Right? So basically what he's getting at is as follows. Free will in its most open capacity, fashion is that we're able to make any decisions. At the same time, God is orchestrating history to get to a certain place, right? So if free will is just running amok, doing its own thing, then that could take us anywhere, right? So on the one hand, God is giving us free will. We're trying to get to this one particular, we're trying to do what's right, but that could take us here, that could take us there. At the same time, God is ensuring that all of history marches towards a certain place, marches towards a certain goal, and that isn't necessarily, and that doesn't necessarily follow this empty path or this random path that has to follow a very certain path to get to that place. So how do we, on the one hand, have free will and do whatever we want, right? Hopefully to the good, but we could also we have the capacity for bad. And at the same time, history has to get us to a certain point. History is marching towards a certain goal. So free will is allowing us to go anywhere, and yet we have to get over here. How do you allow both those things to happen? Right? Sometimes you want, maybe a child, you want to get the child to a certain destination, but you don't want to force them to do something. It's not easy, right? So you try to manipulate things, right? That's what's happening over here. There is, on the one hand, we're going anywhere we want, so we have free will, and at the same time, min hanoshi, collectively, we have to get to a certain point. So he's starting to lay out the complexity of what's happening over here, both collectively as a race, as the purpose of all of creation, and as an individual, and trying to balance those two. We'll come back and discuss this further. Okay.